In this lecture, we are seeing the topic Seeing Our Futures Through Self Efficacy, Optimism, and Hope. In the privacy of our personal thoughts, we imagine wonderful visions of our tomorrows. The future is fascinating precisely because it holds seductive and positive possibilities. The future offers the chance to change things, to make them different and better. People want to feel as if they can make things happen to their satisfaction. This starts from the earliest baby and toddler days. On the other hand, future remains a place where people's fantasies and desires can produce the proverbial happy endings. The children in an environment were taught to look ahead and to focus on what they could accomplish in the land of opportunity. In the process of looking ahead, people run the risk of making their life extremely busy. A columnist, Ellen Godman, in her essay, Being Busy, Not an End in Itself, says that occasionally we have to take time out from our busy, future oriented thinking. We first examine three major future oriented temporal perspectives in this chapter: the positive psychology temporal perspectives, self efficacy, optimism, and hope. We will explore the theories that guide these concepts along with the scales that measure each and associated research findings. We will discuss the potential balance among temporal orientations aimed at past, present, and future. We'll provide cautionary comments about how these future oriented concepts may not apply everyone. Self efficacy as is a term found by Albert Bandura. It spread popularity to the point that it now may have produced more empirical research than any other topic in positive psychology. It is also said to be motivating by using the term, I think I can, I think I can. This belief that you can accomplish what you want is the core of self-efficacy idea. The self-efficacy construct rests upon a long line of historical thinking related to the sense of personal control. Famous thinkers such as John Locke, David Hume, William James, and Gilbert Ryle have focused on willfulness or volition in human thinking. More recently, similar ideas have appeared in theories on achievement motivation, affectance motivation, and social learning. Bandura defined self-efficacy as people's belief in their capabilities to produce desired effects by their own actions. Similarly, Maddox in 2002 has described self-efficacy as what I believe I can do with my skills under certain conditions. Based on an examination of what needs to be done in order to reach a desired goal, the person supposedly then analyzes his or her capability to complete the necessary actions. For Bandura, outcome expectancies are viewed as far less important than efficacy expectancies. Consistent with his perspectives, studies have shown that outcome expectancies do not add much to efficacy expectancies when predicting various human actions. Situation-specific self-efficacy thoughts are proposed to be the last and the most crucial cognitive step before people launch goal-directed actions. Self-efficacy is a learned human pattern of thinking rather than a genetically endowed one. It begins in infancy and continues throughout the lifespan. Self-efficacy is based on the premises of social cognitive theory, which holds that humans actively shape their life rather than passively reacting to environmental forces. Humans have powerful symbolizing capacities for cognitively creating models of their experiences. Second, by observing themselves in relation to these cognitive models, people then become skilled at self regulating their actions as they navigate ongoing environmental events. Thus, cognitive reactions influence the surrounding environmental forces that, in turn, shape subsequent thoughts and actions. Third, people and their personalities are a result of the situation specific reciprocal interactions of thoughts, environment, which is leading to thoughts again. Given these social concept cognitive ideas, a developing child uses symbolic thinking with specific reference to the understanding of cause and effect relationship and learns self-efficacious, self-referential thinking by observing how she or he can influence the surrounding circumstances. Bandura proposed that the developmental antecedents of self-efficacy include previous successes in similar situations, modeling on others in the same situations, imagining oneself behaving effectively, undergoing verbal persuasion by powerful, trustworthy, expert, and attractive other people. Arousal and emotion. When physiologically aroused and experiencing negative emotions, our self efficacy may be undermined, whereas such arousal paired with positive emotions heightens the sense of self efficacy. It is when you look at the neurobiology of self efficacy, it is likely that the frontal and prefrontal lobes of the human brain evolved to facilitate the prioritization of goals. When faced with a goal directed task, especially the problem solving that is inherent in much of self efficacy thinking, the right hemisphere of the brain reacts to the dilemmas as relayed by the linguistic and abstract left hemisphere processes. A sense of control that leads to the production of neuroendocrines and catecholamines that govern automatic activities related to stress are produced. These later catecholamines have been found to mirror the level of felt efficacy. So, does a sense of realistic self-efficacy lessen cardiac reactivity and lower blood pressure by facilitating coping? Bandura had held staunchly to the situational perspective that self-efficacy should reflect beliefs about using abilities and skills to reach given goals in specific circumstances or domains. Self-efficacy scale consists of 23 items to which respondents rate their agreement on a 14-point Likert scale. 1 is strongly disagree, 2 14 strongly agree. Examples of some items include the following. When I make plans, I'm certain I can make them work. If I can't do a job the first time, I keep trying till I can. When I have something unpleasant to do, I stick to it until I finish it. More recently, Chen et al. 2001 have developed an 8-item new general self-efficacy scale. Its scores appear to relate positively to those on self-efficacy scale of Scherer et al. This new general self-efficacy scale may provide yet another valid self-report index for tapping cross-situational self-efficacy. Contrary to the cross-situational perspective of the self-efficacy scale, Bandura suggests that any measurement of the individual sense of personal efficacy should be carefully tied to a given performance situation. Although the cross-situational efficacy scales produce significant correlations with other measures, it is when using such situation-specific measures that higher self-efficacy robustly and consistently has predicted lower anxiety, higher pain tolerance, better academic performance, more political participation, effective dental practices, continuation in smoking cessation treatment, and adoption of exercise and diet regimes. Self-efficacy has been implicated in successful coping with a variety of psychological problems. Lower self-efficacies have been linked with depression. Likewise, higher self-efficacy is helpful in overcoming eating disorders and abuse. Bandura was one of the first to take a positive strength-based approach when he posed that self-efficacy can play a productive role in dealing with psychological problems, and emphasized enablement factors that help people to select and structure their environments in ways that set a successful course. Positive psychology emphasizes on enhancing strength instead of lessening weakness. Health-related behaviors. Self-efficacy increases health-related behaviors and decreases unhealthy ones. Susceptibility to infections and the neurotransmitters that are implicated in stress management and the endorphins for muting pain can impact with the self-efficacy. Self-efficacy enhancement in the context of psychotherapy not only bolsters efficacious thinking for specific circumstances, but also shows how to apply such thinking across situations that the client may encounter. Psychotherapy may use one or more of the following 5 strategies for enhancing self-efficacy. Building successes, often through the use of goal setting and the incremental meeting of those goals. Using models to teach the person to overcome difficulties. Allowing the person to imagine himself or herself behaving effectively. Using verbal persuasion by a trustworthy psychotherapist. Teaching techniques for lowering arousal. Examples: meditation, mindfulness, biofeedback, hypnosis, relaxation, to increase the likelihood of more adaptive self-efficacious thinking. Collective self-efficacy has been defined as the extent to which we believe that we can work together effectively to accomplish our shared goals. The relevant evidence does show that it plays a helpful role in classroom performances. For a real-life application of social learning theory and self-efficacy principles as embodied by television heroes, read the article Changing Behavior Through TV Heroes.